What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Captain Trucker. Thank you for coming back. If this is your first time, please subscribe. So in today's video, we will talk about what foreigners and expats need to run a successful business here in the Philippines. We are here in Sugar Beach in Sipalay, and we are going to talk to the owner of a successful beach resort here called the Big Bamboo Beach Resort, and we're going to try to give you all some good information, so stay tuned. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm here with Mr. Mousaf, who is the owner of this fine establishment, the Big Bamboo Beach Resort here in Sipalay. He's going to hopefully offer us his some of his wisdom as a successful business owner here in the Philippines. So, yeah, Mr. Mousaf, what is like the basic legal requirements like that a foreign expat would need to, I guess, start a business legally here?
It's not much, depends. If you have like a Filipino wife, it's things more easier. So you could have things shared between you and her, but it's 40-60. And
40-60?
Yes.
Okay.
But if you want to have your own established company where you can have a corporation in Philippines, or you could have your own corporation outside country, and then you establish it in Philippines, and you just add your corporate lawyers, that's cost you a lot. My advice, to save money, establish a corporation in Philippines, and then add, if you have, like I say, a member of the family of Filipino, you can add them as a shareholders, or use your lawyer as a corporate lawyer to protect your rights.
I see. So there's two different ways to do that then?
3 different ways.
3 different ways.
Yes.
Could you run through that again really quick? The first way is if you're married.
Yeah, if you're married, or you have a corporation outside country and establish it in Philippines.
A corporation outside the country.
That's right. That's what I have here right now.
Ah.
And that costs a lot of money.
Okay.
Okay, so all what I need to establish my corporation from outside, to have a branch here, I need a corporate lawyers and auditors and accountants, and that's cost me a lot.
Lots of money.
Yeah. So, but business is good.
Right. Well, I would imagine you would need lots of money to start something like this. So, I mean, you're not running like a sorry store.
Yes,
here,
and then if you establish a corporation here, then you need members that you trust.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, it's still easy, because the lawyers, their job to protect your rights and to protect your corporation. So you require an auditor and an accountant.
Okay.
To do your papers every year, and it's things can be done. It's no problem. It's all about money.
And is it easy for these foreigners to find these lawyers, or is it sort of like people you kind of have to know? Are there shady lawyers out there? Are they all pretty good?
Before you select the lawyer, you have to ask and check and ask other foreigners who've been here for a long time.
Yeah.
And they will give you their recommendation. But we have a lot of good lawyers here.
So you would recommend a referral then?
That's right.
Somebody who's done.
Yes.
And how many resorts are on this beach actually?
When I started here, there were only 3.
There was only 3?
Yeah,
Oh my
2010.
God. Okay.
And now we are 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's gone from 3 to 14 resorts on this little strip in 14 years?
2010.
2010? Yeah, 14
we
years.
established 2012 officially open. And the strange part, that's the beach is much bigger than the capacity of the rooms available in the beach.
Interesting.
So the whole beach here is all private.
Wow.
Because we do have the land, it has to be titled to be able to operate, and then we have the shore. Offshore is under concessions.
Okay. Interesting. Very good. So for those of you who don't know, the Philippines is part of the Pacific Rim of Fire. So in these countries, we have a lot of weather conditions, right? So I mean, you're dealing with a lot of typhoons and floods and stuff like that. So I mean, what concerns would a business owner have in terms of choosing a location that won't get blown over, by a typhoon or something like that?
I traveled all around Philippines before I bought this property, because at the beginning when I bought it's supposed to be as private property for the families. And then when I start to investigate in the geographical locations, here we only get the tail of the typhoon. We don't get we hardly get earthquakes, maybe once a year in a few seconds, even we don't feel it while we're sleeping.
Yeah.
And then a lot of resorts, they are closing between August all the way to December.
Wow.
Due to flood.
That can affect business, I would imagine.
That's right. Of course, you cannot operate. You are in
Wow.
flooded. And where we are right now is a very safe place. And this is a good point to study it before you take the next step.
Right. So I guess the idea is to like research the geographical location. There's records and stuff you can check to like certain places that flood more and stuff
yes,
like that?
there is. But do not ask opinions, because opinions is all about money.
Right. Whereas in America they say every. No, I'm not going to say that. Sorry, it's a bad expression. Everybody. No, sorry. I lost myself. Sorry. Oh yeah, they say opinions are like a-holes. Everybody has one. I'm going to cut that out. Anyway, yeah. So research the location. And what records do they have in the Philippines that's available for people to research that?
They talk about areas, and then you have to go through geographical. Where is this area located? And then you can see all where the typhoon passed by from. Where the one of the typhoon we were surprised of, what is audit, that came from opposite direction. It was weird due to geographical or environmental changes.
Yeah.
And that's the big damages in Philippines in general.
Interesting.
All of it. Because hit the land so hard.
But there's like a specific place where official records where you can look at those stats up?
Do not trust them. Just
Okay.
go and listen to opinion, because that records can be changed once every 50 years.
Okay, once every 50 years.
Yes.
Once every 50 years. Okay, well, a lot can change in 50 years. So, yeah, it's good to ask around and stuff. No doubt. Location, 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 folks. So, like, obviously, a foreigner starting a business, they may have a chunk of money, and they may just think, oh, Philippines, it's all a bunch of beautiful islands, and it doesn't matter where you get land. So, I mean, what would you say about, is location obviously an important factor?
It is one of the most factors. If you want to invest money, you need a tourist location to return your money back. If otherwise, this is you consider private properties. So for us, this is one of the hidden paradise, unknown. And we had, in 2016, they opened the airports. We were fully booked. The whole beach was fully booked in this time. In that time, we had no roads, so you have to come by boat. And sometimes we cannot even accept clients due to weathers.
Wow.
So, but then there were advantage and disadvantage. The advantage, where the clients were coming here, they cannot spend one night or 2 nights. They have to spend a week or 1 month.
Wow. Because there's limited access.
Yes, it's
I've
limited
heard
access.
that too. Like certain locations, there's like less road access, and it's hard to get to certain locations. So just because you have a nice beach or a nice place doesn't necessarily mean tourists will be able to get to it.
That's right. Now, the airport closed from 2019 when COVID hit. Until now, it's not operated. If it's operated, it will be more and more crowded with touristic. But now we have the road. So if you notice, every weekends we are mostly fully booked due to the road access.
Yeah.
And more locals and Filipinos, they like to explore their countries, and they start to come in and also walk in.
Okay.
Where that's good for them, but for us, they also get mad from us, because always we say no room, so they take it as disadvantage, where they don't understand that European, before they come, they already book in advance, few months before.
Okay. Interesting. So let's talk capital. I mean, like, to make a legitimate business work for a foreigner, I mean, obviously you can't just have maybe like necessarily $10,000 in your social security check. Like, what would you recommend for capital to start a legit business?
Before you look at what you have, then you have to look at the properties. The properties value here is getting up now, so it's not as before when I bought. When you start, like my property right now is almost 600,000. When
Wow.
I bought, it's almost 200,000.
Oh my God.
You see, that's the difference between within the next 10 to 15 years. But still good investment, because still gonna increase. So people gonna come to me and says, oh, I have $15,000-$20,000 to establish a business. I would say, I rather they should stay back home.
Really?
Yes.
So you'd say 15 to 20 grand wouldn't be
No.
a good idea?
No.
Okay.
That's good to spend holiday with.
Yeah. This guy, he spends his holiday with $15,000, I guess. Well, that's a lot of money. But But I mean, if they were starting like a smaller business or like some kind of, I don't know, water stations, internet cafes, not that people use those necessarily anymore. Or...
That also depends. If you have family here,
yeah,
yes, you could do that.
right.
But if you come from nowhere
Yeah.
and you are entering another country and you want to spend that minimum money, I don't think you'll be welcome.
Okay. So then what number would you recommend?
200 and above.
Wow. For a resort?
For a resort, you need now up to 1 million.
Up to 1 million? In a nice place?
Yes.
Wow.
You could buy a small resort for 300,000, 400,000, but can you guarantee your money back?
Interesting. Yeah, because I mean, I would imagine that there's, I mean, look, the Philippines is known for its beautiful beaches, all right? Oftentimes on vlogs, we tend to see the beautiful beaches, but I've been to a lot of parts of Negros Occidental, and not all the beaches are very nice.
No.
You know, you get a lot of brown beaches, you get a lot of, you know, seaweed, jellyfish. There's some beaches you can't even swim in. I mean, I've been burned by jellyfish before, too.
Actually, if you look right now, we are walking in sand.
Yeah.
Very fine sand. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this beach is epic. This is probably, in my opinion, the nicest beach in Negros Occidental.
Yes, it is.
You know? I
Clear
mean,
waters.
although I don't know much about Lacawan Island. You know much about Lacawan?
I don't know, but all what I know, we have many islands here, and we have a lot of tourists. They keep going and asking about them, and even Filipino, they never hear of them.
Wow.
It's an amazing place.
So yeah, I guess the sentiment is like, guys, if you're gonna start a resort, it's kind of not a good idea to go cheap, I guess, and expect a profit.
No, these 2 days we are talking different from the old time to the newer time. These 2 days, I recommend, my recommendation, buy a ready resort, see the legal documents, and transfer it directly to your name. You could be a foreigner, it's easy, where you have a company, or establish a company if it's under a Filipino name,
Yeah.
and transfer it to under a company, and then go from there and keep going.
Okay.
But do not start from zero.
Do not start from zero.
Because you need location, you require water electricities, it's a lot of hassles, environmental, ECC, a lot of paper, a lot.
Okay. Interesting.
And that's not in consideration.
I mean, I know people, for instance, like, and I've known actually a couple people, they come here with the idea of running like just a bar, like a straight bar, not like necessarily a resort, but you know, they want to be like the cool bar owner in the neighborhood. And what do you think about that? Like foreigners who just want to do straight bars?
All right, if you want to run a bar, like I have a resort, you could come to me and say, I want to rent your bar. I could give it to you, but that's a rental. I don't know for how long. Then I will take it back. If you think that you are smart enough and run a bar in a city,
Yeah.
or in the town and rent the location, don't forget there's no rules, no regulation on the owner can increase the price. The moment you see your business going up, then think that's, or make sure that the owner of that building will either take over, will not renew your contract and take over your bar, or increase the price to double or treble or 5 times.
Okay, this is a very important point to emphasize that a lot of people may not know. So he's saying that there's no regulations in terms of like, if you're running a bar and the owner of the building sees that it's obviously becoming profitable, there's nothing to stop him from increasing the prices.
Of course, of course.
And that can obviously be problematic.
And that's happened to many foreigners where they spend money
Yeah.
in decoration, in preparation, and then suddenly the business closed down. When we asked why it's closed down, was a good location, was a good bar, has his own clients, then they say because the owner cannot afford to pay the rent.
Yeah.
What's the rent? Now we talk about 5 times more.
Now, on the other side of that too, not just the bar, but from the guys I've known that run bars, they tend to run into drama. They tend to run into like problematic customers.
Remember, if you play with fire, you will get burned.
If you play with fire, you'll get burned. It's the best words from Mousaf this whole video. No, that's true, man. That's good. Yeah, the sentiment of that is, guys, be very careful if your idea is to run a bar here, right? Because not just because of the legal stuff in terms there's no regulations to stop the owners from raising the price, but it does attract drama, okay? I've heard a lot of stories where bar owners get into very not good situations, potentially dangerous.
Okay.
So in terms of like, you know, when you're working in countries like this that maybe have less regulations and stuff or whatever, like how important would you say it is for the owners of these resorts or any business in terms of the way they treat their Filipino staff?
That's a very good question. Most of the business, most of the resorts, the owner Maria Filipina, he has a Filipino wife, and the family helps support. That's great. But as my situation, I do not have a Filipino wife, so I do have stuff with me from day one. What is, I'm talking about 12 years now.
Yeah.
12, 10, 8, 6. So they stayed with me because the way we treat them, we treat them, the secret word, treat them like a human.
Yeah.
So if you are in Philippines or back home, the way you treated your stuff, they will return back to you.
Yeah.
So it's karma. So you have to treat them properly. They will stay with you for a long time.
That's very important. So I mean, it's not necessarily all about the money either, because sometimes, like in my culture, I know like Americans or other nationalities, sometimes they think you can just throw a pile of money on anything and fix a problem, or buy not buy a person, but I mean buy good customer service, so to speak, or buy loyal employees. So I mean, it's not necessarily all about the money.
Look, they do mistakes,
Right.
but then your job to solve the mistake, and then teach them the right way to not do it again. So to not give them the negative words, always the positive words, to encourage them to do better. Where we are human, we could do mistakes.
Yeah.
So yes, this is a point where you don't want to lose them. So if you lose them, you lose your business.
Yeah.
But still, as you are a foreigner, an investor, and you have the cash, you will get a lot of application. But the rumors goes everywhere.
Right.
And that's something you want to avoid.
Yeah, because I mean, like, there's only a certain amount of good tourist places. Well, I shouldn't say that, but I mean, yeah, there's only a certain amount of like good tourist places in the Philippines. So if you're a business owner and you invest all this money and you have a bad reputation for mistreating your staff, that can be very problematic for you.
That's right.
And Mr. Mousaf here has had his staff for nearly 12 years, so that's pretty impressive. So good for you. Well, I appreciate your time. Mr. Mousaf has to go back to work.
Yes.
He's a very busy man. But I want you viewers to send in questions that you have for Mousaf, because I'm going to be here a few more days. And he's been kind enough. We're going to sit down with him again tomorrow, and we'll ask him some questions from the viewers, any more advices and stuff like that as far as running the business. But for now, thank you, Joe.
We will be glad to help you guys.
Appreciate it. It's Captain Trucker here from Sugar Beach, the Big Bamboo Beach Resort. We'll talk to you all soon. Please subscribe. So that's it. I will say I really like this beach a lot. I brought my son here when he's very young, and I still bring him here. There's something very peaceful about this location. That's I'm serious. Like, this beach has a certain peacefulness about it. Like, there's a spirit here of something good. And every time I come here, it puts me in a good mood. I'm serious. I really love this place. And yeah, I've been here actually, it'll be almost 2 weeks when I leave. So what's also cool is like all the resorts here, including Big Bamboo Beach, they range in price, so very affordable depending on what you want to do. So you can get rooms as low as, I think, probably under 1,000 pesos up to over 3,000 pesos. But yeah, that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll pick up on it tomorrow. It's Captain Trucker. Please subscribe and go ahead and send in your comments or any questions we have for Mousaf, and we'll pick up on this video another time. Enjoy the sunset, guys. Bye-bye.